We're already doing so great.
You're welcome.
Welcome to our party in my kitchen.
This is a trope now.
Yeah. The cackling,
the opening
Cackling trope.
It is a routine.
Other shows have opening credits. We have opening cackles.
We have both, to be fair.
Yeah.
Also a laugh track.
Also a laugh track
So
from
good.
the live studio audience here in
We have witnesses.
Marisa's kitchen.
Mhm. Here we are. Very shiny again.
I am 100% hiding away from my children, so.
I love this. I import them. You exile them. It's really great. It's for us.
Exiled myself, exiled them.
Here I go.
I mean, important. Hi, welcome to Feral Ladies episode, this one. And we are so pleased to be back with you again. We are making this a more common occursion. I am real good at mouth words, so you're welcome. Let's introduce my fellow girl bossy feral ladies.
Ooh,
I did.
You did there.
This is rough.
Well,
guys. I don't know if I claim that.
I don't at all. Yeah.
No.
Feral lady, yes.
Yes, I'm gonna go start.
Do it.
Okay, so I'm Kacey Ezell. I do not live here. I am visiting Marisa, and it's very fun. But yes, I'm Kacey Ezell. I write emotionally charged adventure, fantasy, and science fiction. You can find my work starting at kaceyezell.net or .com. I own both. And and actually right now, if you want, you can go read my fiction for free on Royal Road. You just search Shadow Card Guardian. And you can also find a link on my website. So yeah, that's who I am.
I love it. Melissa.
Hey, I'm Melissa Olthoff. I write sci-fi, I write fantasy, and I throw romance in there because I write what I love to read. And you can find me at melissaolthoff.com or .net because now I too go both ways, and I'm very excited about this.
Yes.
You guys with the
amazing. That's how we do. Jokes. Hi, I am Marisa Wolf. I write science fiction and fantasy that ends in hope, no matter how hard it is along the way for our characters, and it is never easy for the characters. And we are not yet 14 minutes in, so we will not make any "that's what she said" jokes. But
you heard it.
I did.
It was on the tip of my lips.
On the tip of
2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
I'm just gonna store it up, and at 10 minutes, it's just gonna. There it is.
Hello?
Okay. It's fine. So we are so excited to be with you today. As you can tell, we, as usual, have a topic. We have a plan. We'll see where that takes us because we're feral and the rules don't matter.
Except for the 10-minute one, apparently.
Except for the YouTube.
That's not our rule.
Algorithm.
The algorithm is, in fact, our robot overlord, and we do what we need to survive. So we welcome our robot overlord.
It's pretty new robot overlord.
Yeah, we do. Welcome. So hello. One of the things we said, I'm going to introduce the topic, and then Melissa is going to throw in her should-be trademarked response to it. We're going to talk about girl bossing today, because girl bossing, what is that, Melissa?
It's not a trope, it's a travesty.
Yeah, we don't like it.
What is this?
Yeah, we don't. We're not fans, except unless it's that real sound of have you ever girl boss too close to the sun? That I like it in that context. That's about
like ironic.
Yeah,
context.
yeah, when it's for funsies. So yeah, we are going to talk about that and whatever else comes to our distractible little brains.
Okay,
today.
so but like to start off, let's define girl bossing.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the real world, in Kacey's, in the universe of Kacey's brain. Sorry, my goblin hood keeps slipping.
I know. We're trying to it's winter, guys. It's winter.
You know what? Fuck it. It's sorry.
Oh, okay.
It's coming up.
You're ungobbling?
Yeah,
Right.
Well, I'm still goblining. I'm just not wearing the hood.
Right. I'm keeping the hood because, friends, this hair has not been redone since last June. So we're going to keep the hood. You're welcome.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah.
So girl bossing, right? Like in real life, I always associate that with this idea of like Uber hustle culture where it's like, all right, come on, time to get up, you beautiful little snowflake, and girl boss until the sun goes down. And it's like push. Yep. Don't bother taking time for rest. Don't bother taking care of yourself. Don't bother taking care of anyone else. Just like eyes on the prize, full press towards your goal, which, to be fair,
has its place.
And has its time, but it is not all the time, and it is not all the places. It is a tool to be used very selectively, and from which you must recover after you have used said tool.
Like a goblin.
Yes, like a goblin.
Maybe.
So so that's why I don't like the whole like concept of girl boss, because it really does seem very related to the whole like Uber hustle culture, you know, let's work ourselves into the ground, which I cannot support.
Cannot.
Yeah.
There's no balance to it. There's absolutely no balance to that concept of like you just have to be go and do all the things. And I'm like, no.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when we talked about surge ops the other day, right?
Yeah.
Like, but it's that as the baseline, as the expectation, which is the definition of not surging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
you're not the boss of me, girl bossing.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So.
Yeah. And then in fiction, I think of it is not the exact same, but it is real close to the strong female character, which isn't, guys, it's not an actual woman. It never is. Like it's an idealized version. It's a Mary Sue version. It's a tropey version, and not a fun way. It's the cardboard version. It's not an actual female character. And it is just as boring. I think I've ranted about this before, but it's just as boring as the like strong male. I do things by myself. Like, okay. So I don't know. Melissa, anything you want to?
It's just, nothing will throw me out of a story faster than a strong female character because I can't relate. I am a badass. Sorry.
Love it.
6 minutes. There we go.
No, still didn't break the line. Don't break the line.
Yeah. So, but I can't. That's not real. Like, if I can't relate to the character because they're a strong female character with no weaknesses, no fear, nothing that makes them human, then they're two-dimensional and flat and boring, and I don't want to read about it.
Right. When the character is everything that she needs to be to win in every situation, every single scene, out on top, like no, you're not a well-developed character, right? Because where's the conflict? Without the conflict, there's no story.
Without the struggle, there is no triumph, or it's boring.
Right.
Yeah. And it's not interesting. And I think there is some wish fulfillment, right? Like there are some stories like James Bond. In many cases, he just girl bosses from one situation to the next, right? He is just suave and successful. And if he is held back, it's for like 5 minutes. But it's fun because he's charming. Like, you know, there is a wish fulfillment piece. And so in some fiction, like you can really get into that. Like you can get into the like, very few conflicts or holdbacks, but for an actual character, like I find Bond more interesting when he is struggling.
Yeah, I was going to say it depends on the Bond, right?
Well, yeah.
Because some of the most popular movies have been some of the more recent ones, and like Daniel Craig, and he gets
Craig
him constantly
on the regular.
Yeah, you know, and I think that added back an element, which a lot of people called it like a callback to the original portrayal of James Bond by Sean Connery, who also got his ass handed to him several times.
Love me some Sean Connery.
You know, so like that, people appreciated that about Bond because it made him more accessible. The ones in between, now my first and favorite Bond will always be Roger Moore. Like you always love your first Bond most, right? Yeah. But Roger Moore, the way that he played Bond Roger Moore's Bond didn't get beat up. He was always very like sort of smug and he was everything that he needed to be, but he played into that almost as if it were like a parody almost.
Yeah, almost.
So like everything else, there's never a hard and fast rule. So I think that there probably is somewhere, and you know, I'm not going to think of it on the spot, but there is probably a girl boss character out there who I do love because it is played into so much like you know what, like Miranda Priestley in Devil Wears Prada. She struggles though. You do see her struggle, right? But like even before that, like she was so over the top that it was like, this character is fun to watch. Yeah. Now that being said, do I identify with her? No. Yeah. Do I want to be like that sometimes? Sometimes, but never like continuously, because again, then you see the struggle.
Yeah. It is so there is a space for wish fulfillment. And so I get why some of the characters are so popular. And I'm not going to name any names because everybody gets to live what they want. But anytime I'm reading a book and the character is shy and demure and sweet until it's time to say the really sassy thing to the boy character. And then also she's got 85 knives. And she's like, oh,
She's so clumsy, but she's a master of martial arts and fighting. But I'm so clumsy.
I'm so clumsy, but I'm the meme
Right.
that you see, right?
Yeah.
Also, I'm
all
a
forms of
vampire.
combat.
I'm a vampire.
Yeah, also I'm a vampire. How will I choose between the blonde and the brunette?
Yeah. Why choose?
Why choose?
I choose.
Okay. That's when you girl boss right up on this one. Okay, wait, I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Woo, different.
Sidetrack.
Yeah. So we do. We have no rules. But yes, I do not enjoy, to Melissa's point, that usually throws me right out of the story of like, oh, she's very shy and sheltered and whatever, but dang, she knew how to make that innuendo joke real quick. But only here and not like over here.
But she's so afraid of people's attention, but yet she, is a world-class performer. It's like, well, is she though?
Is she?
Yeah.
Yeah. I sing so beautifully. Everything comes to a halt around me, but oh no, I don't know how.
Or I'm just so plain, but like all these guys want me.
That
was really plain.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, I don't identify. So I think it is. You said this, Kacey. It's the nuance. Like, make them a character. And there are cycles in everything. Time is a flat circle. We are currently in the cycle of the girl boss. And she is the perfect whatever she needs to be moment. And that's not super fun. And a thing to Melissa's point about it being a travesty is I do feel like there is now a class of reader who goes to read a book and they're like, oh, it's a female protagonist, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like I can't do this. And that's a bummer because turns out women exist. So
and have things, and do things and go on adventures.
Yeah, we go on adventures.
Yeah.
We have a lot of knives.
Always with the knives though. Like, so this is okay. This is my own bias, and I will throw that out there. But like stabbing someone is hard.
Yeah.
Do you know what is less hard? Shooting someone. So rather than 37 knives or 15 knives, let's to keep it even. Why not have a semi-automatic pistol with a 15 round magazine?
Why choose?
How about all of them? All of them.
Fantasy world, maybe guns aren't a thing. Sure.
I mean, that's what
But
about
still. Like it's not less violent, guys.
Yeah, to be fair, Bryn's with you.
Just like stab somebody a little.
Right. It's and if here's what I want to say as an open letter to my fellow writers in the world. If your personal politics are such that you do not support the private ownership of firearms, that is fine. I respect your opinion. I respect your right to feel that way. However, it is not less violent to have your characters stabbing people.
Actually, more up close and personal.
Much more likely to get the blood on you. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. Go ahead, Melissa. What do you got?
Oh man. Again, like we're not gonna bad talk any books or authors or anything like that because I mean, Lord knows I have done some dumb things, but nothing. I remember I was reading this one story and I could not get past the first 2 pages because it was again one of those like she was in a dangerous situation and there was no fear. There was no reason for her to not be afraid other than just I'm sarcastic and sassy and I'm I don't care. Like, well, this homeboy's got like a sword at your throat and a dagger at your gut, and you don't feel anything.
Yeah. And even fight or flight. I'm here to tell you, like the fight response, you're still scared.
Yeah. There's some sort of physiological response.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's not that. I think that's something that's been missing with a lot of these is like it's this misconception that if you're brave and you do the brave things that you don't feel fear, but courage is not the absence of fear. It's acting in spite of it.
Yes. That. Yeah, for sure. I would argue that as well. Just as I would argue that toughness is not the absence of pain. Toughness is moving forward in the face of pain.
Yes.
Right. Yes. So if you have your girl boss character in a physical fight with a dude twice her size and she's not using a standoff weapon, chances are like she may win the day if she's more skilled or, you know, has some other advantage or gets really lucky.
Yeah.
But she's probably going to get hurt.
Nice.
Let us see that, right?
Yeah.
Like, don't have your character be a superhero unless they're genuinely a freaking superhero.
Yes. Yeah. Like they've got that genetic condition where they can't feel pain.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever. Yeah.
And even the best portrayals of superheroes lately, like even they like showed fear and genuine emotion and doubt and everything. And it's about being able to relate to these characters because they have the full range of emotion, not just the cool, awesome girl boss tropey, like limited. I want all the colors, please. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Like Ripley in Alien, like, right? Like I know one of the, because there's the eternal internet argument, right? Of like, oh, well, fans are sexist. Like, okay, but we have all of these heroes that have been around since the invention of our genres, y'all. Like, women are not new to the scene as characters or contributors or creators or characters. Look at my alliteration.
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you. Off the cuff. Anyway, Ripley, amazing. She wasn't like hand-to-hand martial artist, amazing, kicked everybody's butt. She was smart and she was resourceful and she used her mech and she saved the cat. And she was
mentally tough, right? I think that's one of the other things that really bothers me the most about the whole girl boss travesty, to quote Melissa, the whole girl boss trope in action is that you don't actually see mental toughness out of these characters because, again,
they're not struggling.
In order to have toughness, there must be struggle, and you must work through that struggle. And that's true of male characters too. But you know, I don't know. Maybe we're being a little sexist, not addressing the because you know those characters exist as well.
Absolutely.
You know, the male characters who like never do anything wrong, not just like James Bond, but
I've never done anything wrong in my whole life.
Right? Like
perfect and beautiful and okay. Yeah.
I know and I love you.
And I think it's a really huge point when you talked about wish fulfillment, right?
Yeah.
But the other piece of that is like the self-insert.
Oh God, yeah.
So you see this a lot in the lit RPG world. A lot of the readers really like a character that they can personally identify with, that they can because again, the literature is modeled after essentially a first person game, right? So like just like in you know a first person shooter or a first person RPG, like you know like Skyrim, right? Like it's you. The illusion is that it's you walking through this world, and you know with your stealth archer bow, and you come across you know these storm cloaks, and you just take them out because you're just that badass, right? That's what the lit RPG is modeled after. And so the character or the readers want something similar. They want a character that they can personally identify with and feel like that's me. And they do want that badassery aspect of it because that's the wish fulfillment piece. So the part that is like where the rubber meets the road, where it's like, okay, are you a good writer or are you a great writer? Is can you both provide that wish fulfillment aspect and still allow for enough realism that the character doesn't feel cardboard, that there's still the struggle that the character has to work through in order to build and or demonstrate mental toughness, that you know that you have room to grow with that character.
There is also, Melissa, you're going to say something. I'm sorry.
No, go first. I'll go next.
Okay. I think we have talked about a couple times, specifically on this podcast, but I've talked about on these internet streets, is sometimes it helps you if you have an ensemble cast where you don't have just one woman or just one man to be your token gender or insert description here character, because then they have to do all the things or else it's a problem. Right. So like Expanse does this incredibly well. Arcane does this incredibly well, where characters are allowed to be whole people in very different ways because they are not the only whatever.
Right.
And I think about that a lot. I had a call earlier tonight about a story that I'm writing. And I was like, I think a lot about the balance of my male and female characters. I don't want only the female characters to be competent and, you know, only the winners of the story to be this or that. I want it to be pretty balanced because I don't want a world in which the women are only great because the men suck, or
Yeah.
Only the men are great and the women are just there to prop them up. That's so boring to me. And I wouldn't want to read it, and I don't want to inflict that upon others. So I think a lot about, like, as I'm building my team, my ensemble, like if there's only 2 men and 3 women instead of, less women than men, make sure that like both those dudes can't be terrible. Like all of my crappy characters can't be the men. Yeah.
Sorry,
anyway.
I'm flashing signs to my kid who's
She
behind the
asked her.
camera.
She asked.
No, she's had.
As one does.
Yeah, Melissa, what up? Sorry, we're just a little sad. We're good. We're doing so great.
So to Casey's point about mental toughness, right? I've got this, I swear.
You're doing so great.
So mental toughness, also like, the physical aspects. You brought up Ellen Ripley, like, with, fighting in her badass loader mech. She did not do that out of nowhere. She didn't hop into that thing and go, I am an expert at this because the plot said, no, they set it up.
Yeah.
That was her, like, that was her job. She was a loader, like, because she'd lost her original job. And then, so she knew how to do it. She had training. So when you have a female or a male character that could really just, I know Kung Fu. Well, that worked for the Matrix.
Because they gave you a reason.
Yes.
Because there was a reason.
They did the setup. No, you're absolutely right. It's like Chekhov's gun 101, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to do the homework on the front end of your story so that everything that your characters do makes sense.
Justified.
Yeah.
They have to there has to be a reason that they can do the thing, or you have to show them, not tell, show this character learning how to do the thing and not just being a magical expert at it, unless, like the Matrix, there is an actual reason for that to be, not universe breaking for your story.
The brilliant princess, astronaut, genius, scientist.
Right. So one of the
cargo loader.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the craft books that I love so much is a book called Superstructure by James Scott Bell. And it goes into like the sort of the structure of, it's based on the 3-act structure in the hero's journey. And it talks about like certain story beats that are very common in a lot of stories and can be incredibly useful. It can be incredibly useful for authors to think about their story in terms of these things. Even if you're not like a full-on plotter, it can be useful to think about, okay, well, what beat makes sense here, et cetera. And one of the beats that he talks about is what he calls the Q factor, named after Q from James Bond.
Nice.
Right. So in a James Bond movie, somewhere near the beginning of the movie, you have James, he's just gotten his assignment and he goes and he visits Q, the guy or girl, I think in some of them, whose code name is just Q. It's the gadget person, right? The gadget. And so he goes and he gets like the shoe phone or, whatever, like, and the sexy car and actually like a laser, like, can, I don't know. But it's the gadgets. And it's always like, and you see this most explicitly, I feel like, in some of the early James Bond movies, but there's always some kind of version of this in the James Bond formula. And it's that, he gets these cool gadgets and this beautiful car, and then he gets like this one like kind of weird
random
gadget.
Thing.
It's like, it's a little random, right? And that is the thing that in the dark night of the soul, when everything is lost, it is that one tiny little thing that allows James Bond to, get out of his cuffs or to, sneak out of the lair or to rescue, Pussy Galore or whatever. I just wanted to say it.
You wanted to say it.
I did.
Well done.
Best character name ever. Best character name
Pretty
ever.
fantastic.
But it's that thing. That's the Q factor. And so James Scott Bell's book, I'm sorry, I'm all
no,
proud
it's
of you.
me. It's me.
In James Scott Bell's book, what he's saying is that you have to, if you want to have your character get out of, come out of the dark night of the soul through their own actions, you have to actually kind of set up those actions all the way back in Act 1 so that it's Chekhov's gun, right? You're hanging that gun on the wall so that it can go off by the end of Act 3, so that you have like, that, I don't know, pick your poison, right? Like, that this person has this history of telepathic contact with this other person. And so that's the thing that they're able to call for help when they need it or, whatever.
That is also, writers, join me. If you are early in your writing career, the secret is not to necessarily know that as you get into the book. The secret is go ahead and write that first draft. Realize what the character needs at the moment,
and then go
in
back
edits
and write
foreshadow the heck out of that.
Yeah.
I have yet to write a novel, and maybe there's been one or two stories, maybe short stories. I always rewrite the beginning. I finish the book and then I go back and I'm like, oh, this chapter is trash and has nothing to do with who these characters are. Yikes. Yeah. Or, oh no, I needed to set up this thing because it matters later, which I did not know 3 months ago when I started this book.
Yeah, so, I've rewritten every beginning I've ever written, except for the sequel to Mine's Men, The World of Asunder, and that was because I included the first chapter as a bonus in book 1, and so I was stuck with it. But I rewrote chapter 2 like 3 or 4 times.
Really make it pop.
I had to add a whole extra chapter at the beginning of Rise from Ruin, like whole new beginning.
Yeah, for Mage
Light.
Yeah, I added like an extra like 15,000 words to the beginning of Mage Light.
Yeah, we're not even.
As we have said over and over, the purpose of the first draft is just to exist. And then the second, third, or fourth is where you make it look like you knew what you were doing.
Yeah, I love it.
And to be clear, I'm a plotter. Like I plot these things out and I still end up being like, oh, I need to this, this thing that I thought was going to be a Q factor isn't really a Q factor. It's this other thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I need to go back and foreshadow that and build that up. And oftentimes in my books, just for fun, I find that it's really a relationship. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a thing.
Yeah.
But it's usually like a relationship. Like this person made a connection with this other person, and it is that connection that is going to allow them to survive the dark night of the soul moment and like reach that final victory and transform into whoever or whatever they need to be.
Yeah. That has given me the whole twist to the book. Like I'll get to the end, I'm like, oh, that's why that thing happened. Oh, I should go build that out a little more because that was all along. Some part of my brain knew it, but not the part that was typing. So, okay.
Yeah.
That is the fun part though, especially like when we read for each other and one of us goes, hey, so you did this, but what if you did this because you set this up but you just didn't. Marisa's nodding because she knows exactly what I'm talking about.
It is my favorite, you guys. It was a thing I was so sure she was going to do in a book of mystery. We'll tell you next year. Which probably gives it away. It's fine. No, because Melissa's going to have like 9 books this year, so don't worry about it. So at some point last year, Melissa was reading, and through the whole book, I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is a thing that's going to happen. And at the end, I sent her my notes, and I was like, shit, that thing didn't happen. I need to ask her about it. And so after my all caps rant about how good the book was and how much I hated her, I then added like, hey, the one thing that's not in the notes is like this thing. Here's why I thought you set it up. Here's why I think it would make sense. But like, it's your book. Obviously, it's your book. And Melissa was like, obviously, that's what I was doing. Obviously,
I need to put that in there.
So like,
yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. Because you said it later, and I was like, oh my God, look at my screenshot. Like, here's my long and held reason for why Melissa's brain already set this up and knew it was the thing to do, but
just didn't tell Melissa.
Tell Melissa.
How much fun would we do that though? Like, because we've all done it. Like, we've set up little things, and then we go back when we're doing edits or when we're reading for each other. It's like, oh my God.
Oh.
My subconscious is freaking brilliant. It just didn't share it with the rest of us.
It's not real good at communicating.
It didn't read me in, but others can see. So that's good.
Yeah. I love that. So my subconscious is girl bossing.
Right? Way to bring it back around.
As a travesty, because she's not looping us in.
Right. She's going on her own.
Yeah. Thanks, girl boss brain.
We're crowding you.
You are not. You guys, we're in my kitchen, which I love. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful kitchen.
We're sitting on the stupid like island stools. I hate them so much because I am a short person. I'm not as much shorter than Kacey as it looks here. She's on the taller stool, but I'm just like sliding off of it and then I like rearrange and then I sit and I'm like, no, I hate this. So this is why I just keep disappearing. But then I'm like real close and then I'm like, I can't hear anymore. Like, that's probably more than you needed to know, but these stools suck. And it's fine. I will never sit in high chairs on purpose. They are not the same height. I know.
I thought I was just sitting up like taller.
Nope, I am genuinely like below you this time. Don't slouch.
Never.
You sit up high.
No. I'll
Sit up proud and love it.
I'll be in my goblin mode.
I'm the only one with my hood. It's fine. I'll be unprofessional. I'm protecting the roots. Thank you, Melissa. Sith Melissa has joined.
Melissa has joined the chat.
We've just gone full feral, listeners. I'm sorry. We had a plan. It lasted for 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Now it's just cackle time.
Oh, also,
But wait, there's more.
that's what she said.
Yeah.
I told you.
There it is.
I've been saving it up. Just gotta let you spurt. Spurt out. Yeah. What?
That's also what she said.
I'm here to help.
We're getting like glares from producer Jeremy, who's sitting.
Oh
on
yeah,
the
because
couch
he's
right
also
over.
here. I can't see him. I sat specifically so I could not catch his significant eyeball.
Yeah.
So
I can't see it at all. Oh no.
So I'm not whispering, you guys. He gets real mad at me when I
he
do that.
doesn't like the ASMR.
We're not supposed to whisper.
Don't do it.
We're not supposed to whisper.
He really doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Do you guys like it? You should tell us in the comments.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you like ASMR whispers? It's fine.
Ugh,
You can lie. It's fine.
boy. Yeah.
We're doing so awesome, y'all.
Put Chaos Goblin women in your books. Like, just, it's fine. We
And men,
exist.
for that matter. Why not?
Chaos Goblin men. Everyone deserves shenanigans.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Man. Should we talk about some of our favorite well-rounded characters? I
Yeah.
didn't prepare this, so I'm gonna.
No, that's a good idea.
My brain is gonna immediately say you've never read a book in your whole life. So
Yes, that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. But
So we should talk about. Okay, so I have a twist. You ready?
Oh, it's good.
Tell us about your favorite. Some of your favorite like well-rounded characters, but also who's your favorite well-rounded character of any of your own books
Oh.
that are out as of the time of recording this?
Oh, okay. Specific. Okay.
Yeah. Well, because I don't want to talk about I don't want to
Future.
spoil.
Yeah, no. So say go ahead.
I got one. All right. So Mercedes Lackey, the Valdemar series. I have never identified with a character so hard as I did with Carowin in it was By the Sword. And she was such an amazing character because she was stuck in this situation where she's supposed to do all the girl things, but she doesn't want to do the girl things. She wants to go and she wants to be a mercenary and go have adventures and do all these awesome things. Yeah. So she has to fight and she trains and she struggles and she suffers and all the things holy crap, this is an amazing character who fought her way to, where she needed to be. And I love that book. I reread it recently and I'm like, oh my heart, I love it just as much as I did with the first time I read it as a teenager, right? So Carowin, Mercedes Lackey, holy crap, my absolute favorite,
That's
not
awesome.
a girl boss, but a well-rounded, awesome, badass female character.
Yeah. I'm also gonna go classic. Partly, so thanks to Melissa, I am in several Facebook groups that are about romantasy and paranormal romance and all of these really fun books people are so passionate about. And I love them so much. But every now and then there'll be this post. It's as I spit all over my kitchen. You're welcome. Different kind of party.
That's what she said.
The posts do that, but we're not talking about those posts, right? We're not talking about the thirst post right now. But every now and then there'll be a post that comes up that's oh, have you ever heard of this series? And then there'll be this series of I read this when I was a teenager. This is formative to me, but people only want to talk about new things. So that was a very long way to say I too am going to go classic. And I'm going to talk about a very formative book to me, which was Dragon Riders of Pern.
You're taking
for the
mine.
series.
I can tell.
Yeah.
You're taking mine.
So I'm taking Lessa.
Fuck
I love you so much.
I did not take less. I'm just saying.
For so many, you didn't. Yeah, you could have. You didn't. I love that. But I did. So she is so often unlikable.
Yeah.
She just makes selfish choices.
So she legit girl bosses.
Yeah.
And everyone hates her for it.
Hates her.
Which is so realistic.
Yes.
Because when you are like that,
nobody
likes you.
Everybody doesn't like people don't like that.
Yeah.
So I love Lessa, but I do not like her. And I don't think you're meant to. She makes very selfish choices in very realistic ways. And the text, here's the key. The text is not afraid to support the fact that she is selfish.
And unlikable. And that people don't like her.
Yeah, as opposed to the whole thing of like, this person is doing some shit that if somebody did that for real in your face, you'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you, girl? Like, get out of my face with this. I don't like you. Nobody likes you.
Yeah.
But the text is like, and she's perfect.
Yeah.
And everyone is her best friend except these 3 people that we hate.
Right.
And like, I hate that. Where less like the book supports over and over, she kind of sucks. But also, she's doing shit that needs to be done. And I love that. I love Anne McCaffrey is so good at that. What's
Seriously.
Yeah.
We're just gonna say present tense.
Yeah.
She's got us.
Sure.
Yeah.
100%.
I gotta think of another one now.
Sorry. Kilishandra also. Like so
Same-
many Anne
same note.
McCaffreys. Yeah.
You know?
It's also amazing.
Let me think of one that I really truly loved.
Now my brain's stuck on Fern.
Oh, I've got you. Okay.
I'm ready.
Um,
Listening.
Disney Cinderella.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So here's why.
Classic.
This is what I love about Disney Cinderella. So several years ago, sorry, I'm also giving you like full backstory.
I love us.
Several years ago, when my youngest daughter was like a baby, there was this whole like anti-Disney princess backlash that was going on all over the internet streets.
Yeah.
And it was like, these are not good role models for girls. Girls should want more than just to find their prince and be married and be happy.
Yeah.
And someone was talking about Cinderella, right? And it's like, well, like the whole point of like her story was that, she found her prince and she got married and that was her happy ever after. And that's not what we should be teaching women is a goal. And first of all, I kind of disagree with that. I think happiness and finding a person is a valid goal for every person.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right. Yeah. Number one. But number two, I don't think that that's true of the whole of her story.
Yeah.
Cinderella is an abuse victim.
Yeah.
And her victory is not in that she doesn't like fight back necessarily. But her victory is in that she survives and she keeps her kindness,
Her essential
and
goodness.
she keeps her essential goodness, and she does not let the horrific things that her family does to her change her into someone that she does not want to be. She keeps her faith. She keeps her what's the word I'm looking for? Her ability to believe in magic, I guess, and her hope and her, again, like you said, her essential goodness. And that to me, that right there is what I'm talking about when I say things like mental toughness, right? It doesn't necessarily equate to what we consider conventional badassery. But just that survivorship, right? Staying true to yourself and being a good person, even in the face of adversity. Yeah.
Especially in the face of adversity.
love stories like that. I love stories like that. So.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Also, that just made me think. This is a side rant, but I feel like real necessary in these times. The whole so plenty of people out there for very good reason are like, I'm not a feminist. I don't identify with this term. Totally. I'm a feminist in a very specific way. I'm a feminist in the definition of women are people. There we are. And they get to be whole people because here we are. So that is my definition of feminism. I know it's shocking and crazy. But that means we get to be people. There is nothing inherently, there should be no inherent value judgment in how a woman chooses to live her life. And I mean this for men also, but this is a very specific women-y thing of, you should definitely just stay home and have babies, and that is it. That is all you should do. You should definitely have a career and focus entirely on the career, and that is it. You should definitely do both of those things and let neither suffer, and that is it. And like those
Good luck with that.
Right. And those are 3 very virulently supported points of view on how a woman should exist, as opposed to, you are a person, you make it work however you can, and you do the thing you want. Like, to your point, there's nothing wrong with, you want to grow up and get married and be happy. That's delightful. Live that. Like the value judgment we put on of like, that's not enough is bullshit. And similarly, I want to grow up and be a CEO. Well, it's not really a thing for men. That's bullshit. It's bullshit. And so same for men. Like I can't be a stay-at-home dad, or I can't have a job that only does this sort of thing. Bullshit. It's bullshit. It hurts everybody. It's a reductive stereotype, to take that real sound. And I hate it. And if in fiction we're only showing one kind of successful woman or one kind of the way to be a masculine man, that's fucking boring. Do better. We can do better.
Yeah.
All right, that's my
No,
I
like, I don't know. You guys know I've talked about before how my husband is like a straight badass, right? Like, and you know, he is a very masculine man. He is a very confident man. And my daughter just gave me a note that said, "For real."
For real. Was that for me?
For real.
For you?
Yeah.
We are for real.
We're for real. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, feral young ones. Broke a leg. Marisa again. Anyway, my point is, my husband, uber masculine,
So great.
like uber competent, uber confident, and he even would get like raised eyebrows. Now, this is a man who like has visible scarring from his war wounds on his face.
Our country. Yeah.
And he would get people like being like, "Really? You're a stay-at-home dad? Dude." And he was and is strong enough to be like, "Yeah, and go fuck yourself if you don't like it. Someone's got to raise my kids, and I'm the best suited to do it right now, you know." But yeah, you're right. Those judgments happen to everyone, and it is not. And we should do better.
We should do better.
So,
and often fiction is a way to do that.
Yeah.
What we see in movies, what we see reflected in our stories, what we prop up as visions of what people can be, it gives more room for those things to be accepted.
Yeah, for sure.
Just if I can feel a little self-important,
Why does that make you self-important?
Writers, because that's what we're doing. We're shaping the future of humanity.
No, that's not what I'm doing. I'm telling stories that I want to read and hoping you guys want to pay money for them.
It's a little bit of both for me. I have a little bit of a...
Both things can be true.
Nuance. It's called nuance.
The problem is that not that I don't have a superiority complex, it's that I'm a pilot. And so it's all centered in my pilotness.
Fair.
We're like breaking shit in here.
It's fine. No. I should not be trusted with flailing limbs. It's fine.
And yet you have them so often.
They exist. Yeah. You guys, no, it's a different story. Melissa, you talk. No, you can't talk. I broke you. Okay. So
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Speaking of clumsy.
She's laughing at my pilot this because she also is married to a pilot.
And she did the flight thing for a minute. Yeah.
A second.
We did some fun crafts today. You can't see it behind us because there's books. You're welcome. But we did some fun crafts today, and within 5 minutes of being in the craft place, I like immediately sliced my finger open because it's fine. It's who I am as a person. Like, I am not the master of all martial arts and super clumsy. I just am the injury person, which is why in my bio it often says clumsiest black belt, because I do have one black belt. I have one martial art that I have begun to master 10 years ago.
I'm cracking up. Oh my god.
I don't know what the point of this was to tell you. Oh, the flailing. Yeah, I can't be trusted, but yet I exist.
This is how we girl boss, y'all.
100% room. I'm part of the reason I was cracking up so hard is because like I don't have a band-aid, but I totally like sliced the crap out of my thumb last night. And in fantasy novels or even sci-fi novels, this would be like this cool scar story. No, I hurt myself opening a shampoo bottle.
Amazing.
That is amazing. Yeah.
Girl boss, too close to the sun, babe.
Too close to the sun.
Too close to the sun.
All I wanted was my new shampoo, and apparently I had to pay a blood price.
We paid
for your shampoo.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I did only band-aid it because I stopped the bleeding it was pretty shallow, but I was being trusted with a soldering iron. So I needed to, so anyway, that went well. I didn't burn anyone. Everyone lived.
Everyone lived.
And
we made some pretty crafts.
Yeah.
You did.
Which have just been delivered to me. So,
well, some of them. You're okay. I think it's behind us, and you can't get it. I love you.
So
Nope.
No minors on camera.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
That's not what we do here.
My children will not be on camera.
We love you from afar.
But my child's
artwork.
Look
at what you did.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, soldering this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
And then just come back to us cackling. Anyway, so yeah, I think.
So the next part was going to be your favorite that you've written.
Okay. of books currently out at the date of recording this episode.
Right. Yeah.
Hands down, Kaylee, my Salvage Bunny character.
Yeah.
Because she was so much fun to write. And I say was because I just finished up the 4th book, and that's an edit. So that'll be her whole quadrilogy, because I can't write shorts.
Yeah.
But she was so much fun to write because I specifically took a character that was not a fighter, and I made her that way on purpose. She was a language geek. She was not she was a grad student, like at the beginning of her story, like
archaeology.
Yeah.
And then she accidentally, got her world invaded, and oopsie, and she had to fix it, but she wasn't going to just sit back and let somebody else fix it for her, even though she 100% used the power of friendship and lots of money to help solve the problem. She also put herself at risk to save, her home. So taking her along that journey and like developing her into a realistic fighter for her character, like she didn't become like an expert at hand-to-hand combat, even though she 100% like occasionally stabbed some people. It was fine. She also shot them, so it was cool, right? Rounded, balanced.
I'm just saying, stabbing is not less violent than shooting.
Not, and you know what? Kaylee was raised by space foxes, and she is totally cool with some violence.
She does like the stabby steps. I will say that is fun to play with, though. How violent stabbing is. There's a reason when I work it in to her character. It's on. She likes it. It's on purpose. Anyway.
Yeah. I think mine might be, it's either Isone from Blood of Her Father, who is 15 years old and very much, there we go. 15-year-old queen, very much thinks she knows what life is all about, as do most 15-year-olds.
Very much.
And it very much has no idea, as do most 15-year-olds. Yeah. So I liked writing her because I got to play with that whole like I think I know everything and I'm invincible, and actually getting to show her no, that neither of those things are true. And then also, or the other one might be Lena from World of Asunder, who had to come face to face with the atrocities that she participated in as a German soldier. I mean, she was a member of the Nazi party in World War II. And in that book, she has to confront that and has to, basically, I don't know what the right word is, but
confront, I think, deal with,
process.
Right.
So,
I had all that time to think, and I was too busy listening to you two. It'd be awesome. Well, so I'll do two also, because why not? So I will do Caroline.
I was hoping you would.
Who's this one right here?
Because I love her. She's such a good character.
I love her. So fun fact, you guys. Back in our fan fiction days, one of my favorite characters that I wrote was a dowager lady holder. I will not go into details. She might appear in other fiction because I loved her this desperately. But she unrepentantly existed to serve her family in the way that she thought that they should be. And what success looked like was really only what she thought it looked like. And she didn't actually care what her great nieces or children or anything wanted. She had a vision. She was going to that vision.
Nor did she care about right or wrong. There was only good for the family or not good for the family.
Yeah. She's very focused. And I loved her. She was so alive in my head. And she has spun off in various ways in different characters. She's very much influenced them. So Caroline is a very young version of her.
Also a nicer version.
So much nicer. She does actually care about right and wrong. But she is the wicked stepmother. So in this book, Caroline's role is she's on the Regent's Council for Asone, and she is the wicked stepmother. She fills that role for Asone until she doesn't. And she cares very much like my fan fiction character about the security of her and the people she loves. It's just a wider definition than she was ready for. But one of the things I love about her is a surprise that happened in the book. It was a surprise to me. I just wrote like a little bit of something in case it was like, oh, what about? And I was like, God damn it, you're right. And then it became a thing.
I remember that.
So Caroline had a very clear view of what safety and security looked like. And it did not involve a whole lot of deviations. It involved supporting Isone. That's not a spoiler. You know that from her first point of view. But there was no room for other kinds of happiness. And then she realizes throughout the book that was too narrow a view, and she grows. And I do love that for her. And I love that for characters in general because you get to grow. And the other one then I would put in there is Bryn.
Oh, I love Bryn.
Yes.
Bryn from the Valkyries initiative.
Yes.
You want to talk about mental toughness and character growth?
Damn.
Bryn thinks
man.
that she is just a sassy, snarky, good at her job badass. And that is all she is. And that's all she needs to be. And she is awesome at it and recognize.
And some of the time that's true.
Yeah, it's not true. Right?
In her old job, it was totally true. Mostly.
Circumstances conspire. And she is meant to do more than she thinks is fair or right or possible. So like the essential core of her doesn't go away. She doesn't change as a person on a fundamental level.
Right.
But what she believes is possible in a very non-girl bossy way, she works with that shit. And she has to confront things and deal with things. And the most important thing is she doesn't do it alone. And that is the thing I really love.
Yeah.
Is I didn't mean to make it an ensemble cast. And in some ways it's not, but in some ways it is.
Yeah, but like the first title in the entire Valkyries initiative thing was the Valkyries initiative.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
It was about a team.
It's yeah.
Yeah. But she thought the team meant I am the boss and everyone does what I say.
Right.
And then through the course of Valkyries Chosen, nope. That's all.
We see how well that works.
Nope. Good luck. Vaya con Dios.
Yeah.
Which is in fact a line in the book.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I love both
I
of
love
them.
Bryn too. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Athena, not so much sometimes, but she tolerates the okayest boss in the world.
Okay, boss. You guys. The fun that we have with these characters. That mug is amazing.
Oh my God.
The world's okayest boss is a gift from Athena to Bryn.
Yeah.
And accurate.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I love Raina. Like we haven't seen
Yes.
much of Raina
I
other
cannot wait
than
to get more Raina.
I know we're gonna write that book, you guys. It's gonna happen.
Yes.
So speaking of girl bosses, this is another one that I love. So Raina she's Bryn's best friend from college, and she is the girliest of girlies, you guys. Like
what do I want this for? No,
yeah, no,
yeah.
I don't want a gun or a knife. Thank you so much.
Just
like,
my pretty shoes.
those
Thank
are
you.
dirty. And like this is vintage. You can't get this anymore, you know? And you know, there was one line in the story that we used where it was like Louboutins. Louboutins are always a good idea. Gravel is a bad idea.
Yeah.
like that's you know, and she's a little bit of a caricature of a character. But again, like it's the idea is to show that, like, you know, just because she's sort of rich and very snooty, that doesn't mean that she can't like have growth, and
Handle
she can't
herself.
have you know she can't have she can't have growth, she can't have mental toughness, she can't have struggles, etc. Yeah.
And she can handle herself, and it's good for her to know that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't know that at first.
Yeah. Or she does in this very, again, narrow scope. Here, I'm so good. Oh, it's actually here. It's not here, but it's here.
Yeah.
It's good. Yeah. I love her. It's somehow time again. Like, I don't know how time works, but I was like,
time math.
it was the dimension. It just has intersected with us again to the point. So, but if you are watching this in our premiere and you're in the chat with us right now, or if you're watching this later, please do put in the comments your favorite characters. They don't have to be male characters. They don't have to be female characters. Just give us your, like, this is a whole person in a very specific or unique or whatever way. Just tell us who they are, because my TBR pile can always get bigger.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Fun with that. Well, we'll circle up and we'll say once more where to find us, what's recently out or coming soon, or whatever you want to talk about, and what cons. I think we did it last time, but we can do it again. We'll just repeat it.
Yeah. So, excuse me. So we're recording this at the end of January. So Next con for me is going to be BosCon in Boston at the Westin Seaport. It's going to be we're all three going to be there. So all of the feral ladies are going to be in Boston.
So feral.
Yeah.
So
Valentine's Day weekend, the 14th through the 16th at the Westin Boston Seaport. Tickets are still available, I think. So depending on when this airs, if it is after that, then, ask us in the comments how it went and we'll tell you. My most recent release is right here. It's Blood for Father with Marisa Wolf. And you guys, we had so much fun writing this book. So I really hope you go check it out. And like I said, you can read my free serialized novel on Royal Road. It is called Shadow Card Guardian by Kacey Ezell. So good. Thank you. I'm glad
really good.
Go check it out. It's totally free.
Melissa.
Okay. So again, I now go both ways with my website, so melissaolthoff.net or .com. I, as she said, will be at BosCon, and then in March somehow I now have 2 conventions. I think I'm going to be at Confinement in Lebanon, Tennessee, probably like March 1st, probably just that Saturday, and then Mid-South Con here in Memphis. I mean, I'm sure we won't get shot. It'll be fine. My latest release was actually my Valkyries novel, Shadows May Fall.
Yay!
I love that one. And if you guys are a fan of Dean Winchester, Sebastian looks just like him. So weird. So weird.
That's strange how that works.
I don't know how that.
And also, Melissa, what's that thing behind you?
Isn't it pretty? Like, oh my goodness. I love it. I love it so much. I just want to hug it.
That's a good joke. Flashback. I like it.
Yeah.
What is it?
So Rise from Ruin is going to be coming out from Bane Books in June, and it's my first Bane book, and I'm so excited. And my short pitch is that this is very much Anne McCaffrey's Dragon Riders of Pern meets Mercedes Lackey and Larry Dixon's Griffins of Valdemar in a post-apocalyptic fantasy world.
Yes.
Done by Marisa Wolf.
Right.
It's hard. It's so good. I told Melissa, I'm just going to keep repeating this. It is a sort of book that will ruin a generation of readers, and probably raise a generation of writers.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Hundo P.
Yeah, and lest you forget, the two of us got started writing Pern fan fiction, and both of us are like, "Yep,
this is it."
Yeah.
Ruined.
Yeah.
Once again, I first said that before this was the title, so I do not claim that pun, but also I do claim that pun. So you're welcome. Ruined. Yes. Cannot wait. I can't wait for you all to join. The pre-order is up now. So
It is. I got pre-order.
Just go secure a copy right now. You're going to want to, and you're welcome. Because I read it first. Jason Cordova. I read it first. And now the internet knows that's true.
Jason, so, the ongoing argument, and I am delighted.
The best part, you guys, so it's on Twitter, it's public, you can see it, whatever, but you know where to find the thing. X spot, etc. You can go there and see the argument in real time, because Jason's like, I am so smug because I read it first, and I was like, gonna need you to check that definition of first.
You're actually third.
Yeah.
Actually, he might have been fourth. Did my mom read it before Jason did?
I don't think so.
Jason, because I think it was titled that.
Okay.
So Jason gets all
the popcorn gun.
Jason gets all the credit for shaping the title. Melissa had this great series of titles for the books, and then after a conversation with Jason, after which I had already finished the book beforehand, because she came to me and was like, "Hey, Jason has this idea for the title," and I was like, "Absolutely not." Melissa's like, "I know, absolutely not," and then we're both like, "Well,
but maybe."
But actually, though, Jason is great. Smart. Go read his shit. He's amazing.
He's so good. He's in Cordova.
He's like stupid smart and stuff. Yeah. But so he was smart. He was great, but he was not first. So we had a whole argument. And my favorite thing is he looped Melissa in via text into our argument, and Melissa could solve this. She 100% could go back in her email and say definitively who read the book first, but she's like, absolutely not. Welcome. Fight, peasants. And that
might have been popcorn.
And you should reward her by buying this book and giving me all the credit for reading it first. The end of that. And then, Kacey was right behind me.
I mean, I think
12 hours.
She was saying it to both of us at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes. Like you guys, all three of you read it like dang near like at the same time.
We all were sent it at the same time.
Yes. We were all sent it at the same time.
Anyway, I don't think I'm gonna let that go until at least the book is out. And
I think you should hold on to this forever because it's
probably
highly amusing.
because Melissa won't settle it, so we'll never know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be just
The thing is, okay, y'all. I can't actually settle it because Jason never replied by email. That mother chucker called me.
oh that
Called
bastard.
me. So I don't actually know when he finished reading it unless I like go back in my call.
It's funny.
It's actually more fun to think that you could solve it and you
Yeah,
won't. I think we
yeah.
just leave it like that.
Yeah.
It's fine. She knows
Things
the
are
answer.
they only have to be 10% true anyway.
It's me. Okay.
I mean, yes, 10% truth. I totally could solve this.
Anyway, we're doing great. I am beyond being a shit starter on the internet. Marisa Wolf. You can find me at marisawolf.com, marisawolf.net, because I go both ways. I'm gonna have to start saying it before Melissa because it's mine first.
It is your joke. I totally stole it.
It's fine. I love it. It's fine.
I
Again,
don't
I'm
think you can
first.
reasonably claim I go both ways.
In this context, I 100%
I was
can.
gonna say, I think a lot of people have used.
I mean, a lot of people also do go both ways.
We
I'm not the only one. Just was first in this particular
we
context.
we don't believe in erasure here.
I'm gatekeeping. I invented whatever.
The internet.
We're good. Yeah. I mean, this is Al Gore's internet. Anyway, come hang with me on my website. I shit talk a bunch.
Yeah.
But not in a mean way, because it's
No.
mostly about myself and my grace. What do I do? Oh, books. I wrote books.
You wrote books. You wrote that book.
I also, this is my most recent release. I'm this one.
Yeah.
We wrote this book. We had a lot of fun. This is the result of anytime Kacey says, hey, do you want to write a book with me real quick? Yep. Is it a crazy deadline? Fucking in. Let's go.
Yeah.
Always say yes.
5 weeks.
Mhm.
5 weeks.
We are rock stars.
Amazing.
It was pretty great. Anyway, so that's my most recent book. This year is going to be a pretty quiet release year, I think. Potentially, stay tuned. We'll see what happens. But it's going to be a big rebuilding year. There's going to be a lot of books happening. Maybe you'll see them. Maybe I'll talk about them here. This is probably a great place. Or go to my website, sign up for my mailing list. You will get lots of GIFs, the moving pictures, not like gifts with a T, but you will also get gifts because there's like 5 free short stories that you get. So there you go. So come hang with me in the mailing list and find out more about things. Or go ahead and click that little like button, the little subscribe button. This might be on my channel. It might be on Kacey's channel. We don't know. But you should subscribe to both. Both links will be here.
Yeah.
And you should come hang out with us because secrets and goblins will be revealed.
Possibly.
I didn't know we were revealing goblins.
I mean, I guess it's already
Behold
done.
the goblin.
Behold the goblin. Sith?
Oh man.
It's a hood position issue. There's goblin.
And what's this?
I need to get my hair retouched. For you. For
I was
me.
like, I just got it done.
No, yours is gorgeous. Mine is like regrowth here. So goblin. I've lost the plot. So
Yeah.
we're over time. We love you. Join us on our adventures. Have
Yes.
adventures. Tell us in the comments if there's anything you're like, you guys should thoroughly tangentially touch upon these topics in the future.
Yeah.
Let
What do you
us
guys want
know.
to hear about?
Yeah.
We'll take it.
All right. We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm gonna hit this
Bye.
button.
Yeah.
Right,
You
here we
gotta
go.
click like that one and then that one over
This part.
there.
Bye.